For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Welcome to another edition of the most monitored talk show in the world. Hello everyone, my name is Timothy Poleon, and you are watching and listening to NewsSpin on the Power 97.9 FM. We are also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as on YouTube. In a moment, your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, and that's 716-2026. Kimani will be going through some of your comments in the chat room. Finally, Kimani, I get the impression that we are going somewhere with this broadcast in terms of results, in terms of the reaction that we're getting from supporters of the program, and in terms of the pushback we are getting as well from detractors, because you could get a sense when you're successful, because when people are of a particular ilk are taking an interest in your broadcast, because you're ruffling some feathers, and in some instances that will jolt and discourage individuals. In my case, it gives me the impetus to move on and to continue in that particular vein, because NewsSpin is not about us. It is basically about the people. That's why I continue to ask the question, what is of importance to you as the people? Because people have a tendency, especially politicians and the powers that be and the power brokers, to focus on what is of importance to them. How many contracts they can get, how they can remain in office, how they can regain power. And it's not about those things that are certainly affecting people, especially the ordinary folks among us, because I really cannot understand why anyone would invest the resources and the energy in anything other than the high cost of living in the country right now that is impacting so many people in this country. Unemployment is an area of immense concern. You have so many people who would have graduated from school and they are not employed as we speak. Those people are not interested in a lot of the issues that are being brought to the fore and that are occupying the attention of power brokers and those in authority. Tell me how I'm going to get a job. I'm sure you've been there before, just graduating from school, not knowing, what is on the horizon for you, not knowing, what your next job, whether you'll be getting employment anywhere. You've sent application after application and not hearing from prospective employers. So we hope you're having yourself a great afternoon, Kimani. And you're all set to go through those comments in the chat room. What's happening there? It's too early to ascertain what is happening in the chat room.
A bit early, but I would like to know, Tim, whose feathers are you ruffling?
Well, I get in the responses based on what I read on Facebook, based on what some of my friends are saying. People who really care about me are saying, putting me on alert, including relatives, family members. You just get a sense that you're ruffling feathers, you're causing some people to be very uneasy. But what's happening in the chat room?
Someone says, watch yourself, Tim. You will be the next they will arrest. Not asking for that to happen, but just watch yourself.
Arrest me for what? Number one, you have to construct a special cell for me. Okay? And I don't think they have done that at the Borderley Correctional Facility. And as far as I'm aware, I'm not doing anything that would warrant arresting me and, hauling me before a magistrate or a judge and sending me to prison. That will be the day, but I don't think that will happen. At least I am trying to do things according to the laws of this country. Doesn't mean I'm perfect, but I'm trying to be as decent and law-abiding as possible.
Someone says NewsSpin is a thorn in the side of a lot of people. Ouch. And a couple of persons are asking about an update on Marvin Charles.
There's a voice note circulating that Marvin Charles, I think it's from the Mico North constituency, I think he contemplated contesting the last general election as an independent candidate, that he was taken into police custody sometime last evening, but I don't know the particulars.
But that's it in the chat room.
All right, thank you so much. So, off to Panama. We all are familiar with this by now. The allegation that the previous administration did something that was improper when it decided, instead of putting a loan that it got from Taiwan in the consolidated fund, to put that instead in an account of the OECC, subsidiary of the government of Taiwan. That account, I'm told, is located in Panama. Now, what I'm saying is, and people are investing a lot of time and energy and resources in that issue. The long and short of it is, if as Prime Minister and Minister with responsibility for finance, you believe that the procedure was improper, why not take it one step further instead of just putting out there in the public domain so that people can speculate? You are in a position, I believe, to do something about it. Something meaningful. Something that would send the correct message to the defaulters that this is unacceptable, this will not be tolerated, and therefore there is a price to pay. What has been happening in St. Lucia, and for far too long, and we continue to accept it, is that either in the island's parliament or on the Castries Market steps or the William Peter Boulevard, in the various watering holes, wherever people can meet and discuss issues in the public square, is that people just throw out things, Things are bruited about. Things are spread with the hope that the punishment that would be meted out to the so-called defaulters, with that their reputation will be sullied first as politicians, and also they will pay a heavy price at the polls. So it's all about politicking. All the videos that are in circulation, or the reference being made to the Panama Papers, etc. And somehow, there are a minority of people, and those things resonate with them. Upatan sakifet la by Panama, la vole, bagay yung may sa account, and it spreads. I think, luckily for some of us, some people in this country, there is a newfound awareness where people ask questions, where you try to ferret out the correct information and try to dispel the disinformation and the misinformation that is taking place in our country. There isn't this urgency on the part of some sections of the society to want answers to questions. And that is why politicians literally get away with murder in St. Lucia. Because they put something out and no one would want to ask questions. You must always be curious. But quite apart from asking questions, we have to demand answers from the authorities. Demand answers from the Prime Minister and the Minister with responsibility for finance. All the positions held by one person, one individual. And if he cares about the facts surrounding this, collect the information, collate the information, and then disseminate it via a press conference or via an address to the nation. And to say, this is what, categorically, this is what I will do, those are the measures, the steps I will take to correct this wrong, to correct it, because a wrong has been committed, and continuously making reference to the Finance Act. And if you have a piece of legislation, wherever someone is in breach of that legislation, there ought to be a penalty. There ought to be a penalty. And the Prime Minister does not want to go there in terms of penalizing his predecessor, taking the appropriate action that would say to the people of St. Lucia, this is what I discovered, those are the penalties, this is what I will do to ensure it does not happen again. But instead, he makes reference to, for example, somebody got a commission of over $2 million. Let's listen to the Prime Minister making that statement. It's a brief clip.
Do you know that for that transaction in 2020, 2,560,190 was paid in commission? Yes.
2.5, over $2.5 million paid out to somebody as a commission. Was that money well earned? Is this part of the process, Mr. Prime Minister and Minister with responsibility for finance? If something was wrong, something was improper, if that was improper, what are you going to do about it? That is what I am interested in. I'm not interested in the fact that somebody got a commission of over $2.5 million. If you have to give credence to what you said there, let's just say it's a fact. But is that permissible? Is that something that is illegal? Don't just say 2.5 million in commission and just leave it there. Leave it, so people will start to jump to their own conclusions and so on. We have to be responsible when you are disseminating information to the public. Don't leave it to the public to form their own opinions on certain issues or to come to their own conclusions. Because this thing is mired in a lot of confusion when you just say those things. And definitely, the Prime Minister has to come clean on this particular issue because he is no longer the leader of the opposition. He cannot say to the people of St. Lucia, I do not have the requisite information at my disposal. You have the information, sir. And so, do not decide whatever information that you will disseminate and whatever that you will keep for your own convenience. Let us hear now from the Deputy Chief at the Border Lake Correctional Facility, because he reports that Elwin Lansico was recaptured on Monday evening. He should not have been allowed to escape the prison in the first place. But Mr. Leonard Terrence finds himself in a position to say thank you and to praise the police for a job well done, and also members of the public for providing law enforcement with critical information that led in Elwin Lansico being recaptured on Monday evening after escaping from the prison on Sunday whilst he was on the prison farm.
On Monday, 18 September 2023, at approximately 10:30 p.m., inmate Elwin Lansico was captured in the Poleon area. The inmate was subsequently taken to the General Police Station, where he will be processed and charged for escaping lawful custody. At the time of his arrest, the inmate was spotted on foot in civilian wear near the Poleon area. The search and eventual capture of the inmate was a joint operation with the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, the members of the fire department, and likewise the Special Operations Response Team search parties of the Border Correctional Facility. For the 36 hours that the inmate was on the run, the Border Correctional Facility received several tips and leads from members of the Poleon community. Those tips proved to be very credible and allowed us to concentrate all our resources and efforts in that community for several hours. The management of the Border Correctional Facility would like to extend special thanks to all those in the Poleon community who provided the leads, who provided the tips and the encouragement for the capture and safe return of the inmate. The Border Correctional Facility would also like to thank the Royal St. Lucia Police Force as well as the members of the fire department. We would like to thank the Special Operations Response Team search parties of the Border Correctional Facility for their relentless efforts both day and night in securing and ensuring the capture of the inmate. The efforts will not go unnoticed. They provided support and they did so in very thick forested areas as well as snake-infested areas. But the efforts were successful, and now the members of the community of Poleon, and especially Elwin Lansico's victims, can rest a little bit easy tonight, knowing that he is now in safe custody.
In safe custody, to be allowed to escape again? The possibility that does exist that it can happen. This was an individual serving time for rape, kidnapping, and also false imprisonment. A little over a decade ago, some inmates at the Border Lake Correctional Facility, I think including foreign nationals, one from Venezuela, escaped. Up to this day, those individuals have not been recaptured. Why have a prison when you cannot keep those inmates within the walls of the penitentiary? And I understand that the Home Affairs Minister will be conducting an investigation to determine what? And what will happen with the findings of that investigation? This is a country of probe after probe, investigation after investigation. We all know what the outcome will be. Who allowed the individual to escape? Elwin Lansico. Because I'm saying deliberately allowed, because it was your job, your responsibility to ensure that every inmate at the BCF remains there, serve their time until they're duly required to be released into the society. And if one individual escapes, then we want to know under what circumstance or circumstances this occurred and who will be held responsible, what will be the penalty, or is it business as usual? Let's open the lines to take your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, and that is 716-2026. Let me go through some of your comments. Somebody says there, Tim, I saw this video and I was thinking about St. Lucia. Okay, I have not seen that video, but I will be going through it at some point in time. We have our first call on line. Hello, good afternoon to you. You're on the air.
Hi, Tim. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, ma'am. How are you?
I'm wonderful. What about you?
I am okay.
Hi, Kimani.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good day to you. Hi, Tim. Passport business. The briefcase is still very much in business because I was in town last week and the briefcase is still conducting passport business. So my speculation is has government employed the briefcase to conduct passport business on their behalf? Speculation, Tim. I don't know. I'm speculating. All right? And also, I want to know when Mrs. Poyot will deem it necessary to open the passport office that she said that she was going to open eons ago. Up to now, Tim, we have heard nothing more about that.
I think of late she issued a statement. She was being interviewed by reporters, and she said that they're still retrofitting the new location, the new office, and very soon the employees will be relocated there.
Tim, that is laughable. How long does it take to retrofit an office to house how many officers? Is it 200, 300 officers? I'm sure it's not that many. How long does it take to retrofit an office? It's been months, Tim. And you can just see that those people do not care about the populace of St. Lucia. Those people only care about themselves and what they can get. Another matter, remember some time ago, a few weeks ago, I think the Bordelais correction officers, there were some problems. I think some of them had put down their tools.
Yes, I can recall.
Has that been rectified? Because I'm not hearing anything more about it.
I don't know if the sick out or strike is still on.
Yeah, because we are not hearing anything, Tim. What is going on? Where are our reporters? Nothing is being said. Nobody knows nothing. So I'm asking the question out there, has the problems, whatever problems they had, has it been sorted out? Are they now okay and everything is dandy-dandy? I don't know. On another matter, asking Dr. Anthony to apologize to the government and people of Taiwan for the comments that he made in the House on Tuesday. I think Peter Josie made some comments a few months ago, and he asked Peter Josie to apologize. I think he should follow his example, and I think that he should apologize to the government and people of Taiwan for the statement that he made in the House on Tuesday last week. also, I think our Prime Minister should do his homework, and I think he should apologize, like 3 words, I apologize to the people of Taiwan and the government of Taiwan. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you so much for calling, ma'am. We continue with your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, and that is 716-2026. Over to you again, Kimani and the chat room.
Someone says, Tim, was any commission paid on the Bannon's land sale? Do you know, Tim?
I'm not aware.
Another comment, by the way, what is the outcome of the investigation into the accident involving the ambulance in Dennery some 2 weeks ago? Another comment, you are really not professional. Why mention what community gave you the lead? That's exactly why people do not give info to you guys. Someone says this country is becoming an autocracy with moves afoot to silence dissenting voices by intimidation, victimization, and scare tactics. This 13-2 parliament is a dangerous majority because all this talk about protecting the victory is moving towards a possible one-party state. That is it in the chat room.
I think we have a one-party state right now. I know that the opposition is doing its best in terms of keeping the government in check, but you do not have an active civil society. A lot is desired of the press in St. Lucia, and unfortunately, we don't see any light at the end of the tunnel as far as the performance of the press is concerned, in terms of improvement, in terms of ensuring that the government of St. Lucia accounts to the people. Because when questions are posed to government ministers and government officials, the impression is being given that they're doing us a favor, but we are only serving a particular purpose. We are a conduit. So we get the information from government ministers, government officials, and we share that information with the general public, because the government, authorities, etc., they are taking decisions, they are operating in the name or on behalf of the people of St. Lucia. And on every occasion, when reporters pose questions to certain government ministers and government officials, you get a sense that, they're hedging, they're reluctant to provide the information because they don't want to speak to that particular reporter and that journalist and that talk show host, etc., because they feel some level of discomfort, the level of questioning that they will be subjected to. But you do not get into public life without knowing that there's a responsibility that comes with it, a huge responsibility, and that is to account to your bosses. And the bosses are the people of St. Lucia. There's certainly a lot of, there's need for the government of the day to share critical information with the people of this country. And governments must be very careful not to allow power to get to the head. Because I could tell you, if it was 10-7, the government had a 10-7 mandate, I am sure the behavior of the government would certainly have been different. If it was an 11-6, different as well. But that 13-2, or you call it 15-2, basically, the 15-2 mandate that the government enjoys, it has given the government some kind of comfort. It certainly has caused the government to behave in a very arrogant manner and not realize that the people decided to repose that level of confidence in you primarily because they want you to provide them with proper representation, and also for 15 individuals to consistently and as often as possible report back to the people on decisions that they take on their behalf. Somebody says they heard on the news that a sub-fire station will be constructed in Canaries, and the proposal has been sent to the government of St. Lucia. This is progress if this government implements this project, which is long overdue and needed tremendously. So a sub-fire station to be constructed over in Canaries. That I agree and I concur. As far as this contributor is concerned, is long overdue. Another person says, Tim, is the St. Jude Hospital the Labour Party is building, is it 80 years old? Well, so I am told as far as the age of that structure. 452-2979, 452-2979. Once again, your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. I don't know if there's anything to report from the chat room, Kimani.
Someone says the St. Lucia Press should take examples on international reporting and improve their standards. Timothy, we have an active civil society, but they are only active when a UWP government is in office. They raise their voices and beg us for our national trust. Someone says civil society, who pays the piper calls the shot. That's it.
All right. Thank you so much. The broadcast will continue in just a moment with more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages as we again ask the question, what is of importance to you? Silicon, a government minister, says we should not allow religion and other forms of partisanship, politics, to divide people in the communities the way it has happened. We'll explain in just a moment.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Introducing the new LuSelect Virtual Service Desk, where one click is your access to every service. From My Account to Streetlight reports, requests for payment arrangements to settle arrears, change of name and address. Easy online forms give you access from anywhere and at any time. Every service you need at your fingertips. Go to our website, LuSelect.com, and click on the Virtual Service Desk widget. LuSelect's Virtual Service Desk. Every solution at your fingertips.
Treat yourself to KFC's new Genius Menu. Get your choice of one-piece chicken, corn, and biscuit, or one-piece chicken, fries, and biscuit, or one-piece chicken, mac and cheese, and biscuit for just $11.50. Order now through WhatsApp at 484-0400
or visit our website kfcslu.com
or dine in at any one of our locations. Now that's a genius choice with unbeatable value. KFC, finger licking good.
For it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay. Flow is keeping you connected.
Night Meds is your dependable neighborhood pharmacy. You'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Sadhu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
Automotive art is a place to start.
Automotive Art is now bigger and better with bargains galore. Automotive Art has expanded. With new exciting products and increased shopping comfort, we welcome you to visit. Celebrate with us and take advantage of our specials. New tires starting at $129, 25% off all tools and accessories, up to 75% off rims, BOGO specials, car care bundles, and other bargains galore. Automotive Art, bigger and better.
For the second annual Zouk a Blanc, presented to you by Project Chocolat, Saturday 30th September from 7 p.m. featuring St. Lucia's #1 band, TYP. The always exciting Ezra, the Fun Machine, and our finest DJ, Hollywood HP, and DJ Shocking. Savor an evening of elegance, souk, and old school rhythms in the heart of Soufrière at Project Chocolat. Secure your tickets for just $80. Grab yours at any sell outlets island-wide or at Mambo's Bar in Soufrière. Tickets are also available online. Zouk a Blanc, a touch of white, where island vibes and cuisine meets pure sophistication.
Admission $100 at the door.
So much for staying with the most monitored talk show in the world. This is NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. We are also on YouTube and the NewsSpin Facebook page, 452-2979. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026, 716-2026. Somebody says, Tim, a 100-pound cylinder of cooking gas moved from $284 to $303. What is going on in St. Lucia? Well, what is going on is the cost of living is escalating, food prices on the increase at our supermarkets, and those have not been a major priority for our government. And why has it not been a major priority? Because if they provide too much focus to this, too much attention to this, it certainly will give the impression that they are incompetent and they cannot take care of the needs of the people. So instead of focusing on those critical issues, what do? They focus on controversies. They try to distract you as if you care about anything other than ensuring that you can survive. You can work. You can ensure that you eke out a living. You can purchase things at a reasonable price. And also you're concerned about matters relating to corruption. Particularly if your government can use whatever power it has at its disposal. If you are the Minister of Finance, don't complain to the people about something you deem to be improper. Do something about it, and the people, rest assured, will applaud you for the action taken. This is NewsSpin. Good afternoon. You are on the air.
Timothy, a pleasant good afternoon to you and your listeners all over the world. PW on the line, Timothy. Before I begin, Timothy, I would like to commend Nancy Charles yesterday on explaining to St. Lucians about what transpired at the St. Jude Hospital for the last many years, 14 to after 13 years of the St. Jude Hospital, Timothy. She was very eloquent, and as they say, no matter how you explain to St. Lucians, you know, what they have been actually said, what has been said by the St. Lucia Labour Party, you know, about the St. Jude Hospital, that, you know, it is not their fault, but the fault of the United Workers' Party, Timothy. But we all know that if an investigation takes place, that both parties will be held comparable to what is going on at St. Jude Hospital. But Timothy, this is not what I called you to speak about today. What I called you to speak about today, Timothy, is it is all well and good for the Minister of Agriculture to come on the air and tell the farmers that there is a market for bananas and dragon fruit, Timothy. It is all well for him to come to say that, Timothy, but he has to understand that the grounds have not been prepared properly by not just the last administration, but by his administration for the last 2 years. When it comes to agriculture, Timothy, at the moment, there are a shortage of a lot of local fruits and vegetables at the supermarket. You know, and we were not prepared for that. Solutions were not prepared for that. And we all talk about buy local. But does the supermarket have lots of local fruits and vegetables? At the moment, bananas are in short supply. We have also citrus fruits are in short supply. Dragon fruits are in short supply. Plantain, pineapples, all of these are in short supply at the supermarket.
Caller, we are almost facing a crisis, a food crisis in St. Lucia, you know.
You are absolutely right. We are late in the game.
I don't know how many people are aware of this.
As many years ago, we had a St. Lucia Bananas Growers Association, and you know, for financing, for assisting the farmers, you could have gone to that association and you could have gotten assistance. Where is the St. Lucia National Farmers Growers Association? The government is in a position to direct policies, and that is one of the positions Nancy Charles had. But we don't know who is directing policies with this government. You understand? And the government right now should be going and actually talking to the farmers, telling them about, you know, what are the best fruits and vegetables to grow and what the market needs, and actually have the different farms doing different fruits and vegetables. Where are the extension officers? Timothy, I worked with the Japanese extension program, Timothy, in St. Lucia, and I can tell you the Japanese and the Taiwanese are always in the field, but the St. Lucian extension officers are never in the field. The farmers are lost, Timothy.
Well, I don't know what you're saying there to be correct, whether the extension officers are not in the field.
The farmers are lost. This is why there's a shortage of all these fruits, Timothy.
No, I think it's because of the storm, tropical storm Brett, which
Timothy, it's a while, you know, Timothy.
hit St. Lucia a few months ago.
Timothy, it's a while. We are even late in the game of agro-processing. This Minister of Agriculture needs to wake up and actually do something about the extension officers at the Ministry of Agriculture, and need to do something about the shortage of fruits and encourage the farmers to plant on a different basis what the market needs and to assist the farmers, Timothy. I thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. 452-2979, 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. We have another caller line. Good afternoon. You are on the air. Hi, good afternoon, Rick. How are you, sir?
I'm pretty good. A little bit, I'm very concerned about the lack of any kind of good narrative, any kind of attention to reality. This thing that we keep on playing around as if it's a game, a silly game over and over and over.
For some people, it's a game, eh?
Story.
For a lot of people, Rick, it is a game. It's a political game that's being played.
Yeah, but the suckers remain you and me and the people of the country who really are the ones who fertilize it and water it and whatever. We are the same people who would stop that, all of us, and let these things die. In other words, we can bring about a positive change for the things we keep on complaining about. And most of our complaints are based in nothing but what a politician chose at a particular time in a certain moment to say.
Yeah.
And very often what he said today, the politicians, I'm not talking about any one politician, very often what he said today that you ran away with and ready to kill your mother for, next week he says, I didn't say that, or he says something totally different. So now you have a new reason to go and kill your mother, etc. You do remember the scandals situation with an ambassador writing a fraudulent letter pretending that a building, a multi-million-dollar building in New York, actually belonged to the bearer of the note that he wrote?
Yes, I recall.
In other words, I will call the names so people are not confused. When Earl Huntley was ambassador in New York, he wrote a note suggesting that this multi-million-dollar building that the government had in Brooklyn belonged to Michael Barclay, a friend of his. And on the basis of that, Barclay went to a loan shark, which is illegal, and borrowed money on the building. And you know all that happened after that. It lasted a number of years, cost us a ton of money. There was an inquiry, and they found that Huntley had way overstepped. In fact, Huntley told the inquirer, the person, one-man inquirer, commissioner, he told, and by the way, all of that without the Prime Minister's knowledge, or so we are told. He did all of that without the knowledge of the Prime Minister, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So there the building was in danger of being taken over by the loan shark as his property in lieu of not paying the debt and so on and so on. And the inquiry, I won't go into all of it, Huntley told the inquirer, who was late Matthew, Justice Matthew, that he thought he had plenipotentiary power that authorized him to do what the hell he wanted with the building. Selling it, putting it up as collateral, without any word to the Prime Minister at all, a multi-million-dollar building. Am I being clear, Jim?
Yes.
Good. And in the report, the Justice Matthew said that he said to Huntley that if you have the power or to offer that building, to put the building in the name of somebody else for the purposes of a loan from a loan shark, which is illegal, I repeat, then you would also have the power to find some rich Arab and sell the building to him, all without the permission of your Prime Minister. Now, in any other country, that's jail. Okay? In the report, nevertheless, although the judge said this thing go wrong, etc., etc. He called it misfeasance as opposed to malfeasance, which is the difference between your eyelid and your hair, on the basis that Huntley did not use the money for himself. You hear that?
Mm-hmm.
The money that he borrowed on the building via Barclay, he didn't borrow it, he didn't use it himself.
I guess a lower shade of illegality.
What?
A lower shade of illegality.
Right.
Yeah.
And listen to that. What Huntley did with the money was pay for his friend's credit cards, buy T-shirts for a group of football players, and at the time Huntley had aspirations of running for Grocery. Remember that?
Yes, I remember.
So that's what he spent the money on. I was talking to Sir Vincent Flossack, and I was talking to him about this particular thing and the judges, while he wasn't acting as a judge, then he was a commissioner. What the commissioner said in the report. And Sir Vincent said, well, that is it. And you remember Sir Vincent, huh?
Yeah.
St. Lucia's #1 legal eagle. He said, that is like me saying, or rather, that is like a bank robber going to Barclays at the time, he said, at gunpoint, taking every cent in the coffers of Barclays and giving it to the Marion home. Well, he didn't spend it on himself, therefore he did nothing illegal. He said that is the equivalent of what Justice Matthews said there.
What an analogy.
Eh?
I say, what an analogy.
What an analogy. Good. And Huntley came back, and Huntley is #1 citizen. Huntley represents us. I saw him in New York with the Prime Minister. He was Haitian, whatever he was.
Ambassador to CARICOM.
To be a major cog in governmental matters. Continues to be. That is the same Huntley who was a prime person in the Grindberg affair. So I'm saying all this to you because, and to explain to you why I just look at this flipping country like an island of frogs. And you know, if you didn't live here and love the country yourself, you just go about your business. Because by and large, we don't care. We don't care. Or we are too stupid, uneducated, insensitive to care. They will all come cursing me, but by now I can't be cancelled. Let me read you something, Tim, please. The Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, before I go there, our current Prime Minister's concern, if I'm wrong, correct me, please, that after all the stuff that was said in Parliament about, and the suggestions and the implications and the speculation about people handling Taiwanese money and blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
I got the impression from the Prime Minister's final statements, having spoken to the Taiwanese people, that the Prime Minister's sole concern was that monies allocated to government loans, etc., are handled properly. Okay?
Yeah.
That was his sole concern. Not to in fact state that money had been misused, that people had misappropriated funds. I don't know.
He had a problem with the process or the procedure that was employed.
As far as I understood him, I stand to be corrected. Okay, keep that in mind.
But other people have taken it, further in terms of the assumption. Anyway, but continue.
What is the assumption?
The assumption is that the monies were misappropriated, the monies cannot be accounted for, monies were stolen, etc.
Yeah, that's correct. But I don't want to go there because I haven't really studied that, etc. I've taken the general thing about the proper handling of government funds. I want to remind you as well, Tim, that the Rochamel scandal began with the Minister of Finance evidently giving what do you call it in principle? Authority in principle, whatever. A guarantee in principle. For, what was the hotel called? The hotel called, formerly known as Hyatt. Remember that?
Yes. Now the sandals.
Without the house approval, in fact, without the house knowing anything about it. They went and opened a facility at the bank, and the bank was actually passing money on already, and there had been no discussion of no guarantee and its details to the house. As a consequence of that, in 2009, the Stephenson King government revised the Finance Act, the same Finance Act, so that there would be could not be a repetition of that. And it required now that Parliament be told, before anything is done, Parliament be informed who wants the money guaranteed, their ability to pay, what it is they want, and the whole works. An airtight revising of the act so that Rosamel couldn't happen again. But you know, at the last line, Tim, having said that, the last line said the Prime Minister in effect can guarantee for whoever he wants. That is still there, so I don't know which act which Finance Act 41 section they're using, whether it was the revised one or the other one that was terrible in the first place. So I don't know. But in the process, it cost us a lot of money. I want to read this to you as well. The Prime Minister and Minister of Finance had responsibility for this transaction whereby the money was lost. Okay, I will tell you the amount in a minute. The project had been well conceived. However, there was no supervision of government or control by the government. However, there was no supervision or control by the government over the construction, equipping, and management of the resort. The project as it was conceived failed without the government and people of St. Lucia being protected from a total loss of US $14,592,350 and the costs associated with the repayment of debts owing by Frenwell Limited. We consider the government was obliged to protect itself by ensuring that it had equity in a viable concern in the event it was called upon to meet debts of the hotel company. At this inquiry, Dr. Kenny Anthony, through his counsel, took the position that the equity would have been valueless because of the failure of the company. We consider that it would have been prudent of the government of the day to ensure that it had an equity in the hotel simultaneously with its being called upon to pay any of the hotel company's debts in accordance with the development and concession agreement. Indeed, that was the clear understanding when the agreement of 12 December 1997 was signed by the Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. It had been expressly so provided in the agreement. And I will cut that short by just reading a little bit. We consider that the loss which the government and people of St. Lucia suffered in this matter was the result of maladministration. And what you can do is perhaps you can get your sidekick, Kim, to look up on Google quickly the meaning of maladministration for you. We consider that the loss which the government and people of St. Lucia suffered in this matter was the result of maladministration, and we would recommend that where government enters into contracts for the procurement of goods and services, the law regulating such agreements should be strictly followed. There were irregularities in public administration resulting in loss up to the government and people of St. Lucia. Public servants who should have been involved in the transaction at the level of heads of departments were not. And we consider that if they were concerned, there would have been measures undertaken to ensure that the government did not undertake any liability beyond what was agreed in the agreement in 1997 in respect of a cap liability, and might have ensured the benefit of equity in the hotel investment of the people of St. Lucia in the event the government was made to pay. So now I'm hearing rather, by the by, that how could a permanent secretary do this and do that or whatever? I don't know. But I'm saying this was in 1995 or thereabouts.
No, it could have been, what, 1997? Because
no.
the SLB talking about administration, they came into office in 1997.
No, I'm not talking when they came into office.
So
I'm talking about when that inquiry.
Okay.
I think it's May 2009. May 2009.
Right.
Obviously, the recommendations there, and there are many, were never taken on. Neither the recommendations following the Fleming report on foreign affairs handling of money. Tim, the handling of money is done by politicians, and the people who talk about the handling of money are politicians, none of whom is trustworthy. And there are people who will cuss you to death, like I expect they will cuss me, and I don't give a shit, okay, for just what I did there, because what will matter to them is I am joining Timothy Poleon in attacking the government, although that's 2009, attacking the government, and there will be no concentration on the millions and millions and millions of dollars we have lost to governmental corruption, unrecovered. I will stop there.
And what are the penalties? Because again, as I was saying earlier on, the Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, Mr. Philip J. Pierre, has been making a lot of pronouncements and observations regarding that how the loan was taken and how the loan was deposited into a special account, etc., and that was in breach of the Finance Act. But he does not talk about
those reports.
What he intends to do about it in terms of penalizing whoever went wrong.
Like I told you about the Constitution, is a waste of paper. I told you this strong statement, and nobody has challenged it. No, challenge me. I consider the Constitution.
It exists. It exists only in name, caller Rick.
Pardon me?
It exists only in name.
Well, it exists as writing words on a paper. It exists as words on a paper. But the idea that it guarantees every St. Lucian the rights contained there is bullshit. Because 90% of St. Lucians cannot avail themselves of what it takes to fight any constitutional matter against the government. And I tell you more than that, I'm repeating myself, and these things, they refuse to change. We have a constitution and an independent parliament that, if it wanted to, could make the necessary changes, but they do not. They pick on the things that suit the party, not the people, and that goes for every government I have lived with in St. Lucia. Okay? If you cannot afford the exorbitant fees of lawyers in this country, and I dare say unreliable lawyers, because we have a lot of lawyers, I'm going to speak generally, are next to crooks. They keep a case going on, adjourning it and whatnot. You can't get certain lawyers to support you if they don't, because they're afraid of upsetting the particular government in office. That's what's going on, Tim. Everybody is held to ransom because of the corruption that passes for governance or life in St. Lucia.
So those people are very suspicious. What we describe as who we describe as the ordinary man in the street. So Rick, they have been on point over several decades now when they tell you that the system is corrupt. Now, as responsible journalists, reporters, talk show hosts, what have you, we like to say, where is the evidence to prove that?
Tim, let me say something.
But it appears that those ordinary folks, they have been ahead of us for quite some time.
Let me say something to you, Tim. There are people, friends of mine, who, instead of concentrating on the actual maladministration, which is the next door cousin to corruption. Has Tim found the word for you?
No, we have it. Yeah, mismanagement is one of the definitions. Misrule, incompetence, mishandling, etc.
What you are calling etc. is corruption. Okay? My dictionary, which is very good, has corruption there as well. Maladministration involves corruption. In other words, you to use the patois, who fair administration la mal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maladministration. Your administration sucks. And an administration that sucks invites corruption and everything. And I was telling you about a certain friend of mine who said that we, the journalists, are in fact the biggest hypocrites, that we don't take our own responsibility for not informing people properly or for misinforming them or whatever. And I said to him, we don't take any oath. We do journalism based on perhaps, because we do have journalists who work for obviously partisan papers. I don't know what the thing is about. There are people with different views from the government. If I am running, and I, at different points, the Star has been supportive of Compton and been against Compton, supportive of Kenny Anthony and being against him. I take pride in that. But they will tell you that we, the journalists, are the first ones who should be shot, more or less. Maybe the journalists bear responsibility, and I'm even going to go so far as to say some of us are not as competent or as fair as we should be. I'm going to go all of that. But none of that we took a vow for. So our competence and our whatnot will be seen. Readers will learn to trust us or not trust us. We are not there to be judged by government or by the public in the sense of governance. You with me, Tim?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you're free to take a journalist is free to take whatever position he damn well needs or wants to take on politics in the country. And if he steps out of line, he will be sued. Even though the libel laws allow us a lot of leeway, it does not allow leeway for malice. So to try to shift the blame from the guy who took an oath on the Bible to look out for the people, to see that the people get the best possible life and all their rights are observed and the constitutional rights that are theirs, they can make use of it, etc., etc. When a government denies that, that cannot be compared to journalists you consider unfair or incompetent or whatever. And it is a decoy. Journalists are free to write what the hell they want and can be liable in court if they write something malicious that's not true. And they are free also to stand by whatever political color they want, a different one every day if they choose. And if they say things that are not true, we the taxpayers put out a lot of money giving the government every avenue to expose those journalists as incompetent, liars, whatever. And some of government ministers have even sued journalists. And journalists are afraid in this country at this time, not only of libel suits, but even for their well-being. Journalists are afraid to write and to speak, as I am doing right now, for fear somebody might break down their door with a gun and a mask, or some police officer can be made to, etc. Those are the realities of the country. And it's neither red nor yellow. Those are the realities we've been living with. It's getting worse every day. And if we as a people cannot forget what we need to forget to make those changes, crapo, smoke their pipe. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rick. And by the way, in the UK, there's a debate that's taking place about strategic law against people participation. Strategic law against people participation. What happens that those people who have the power, who have the resources, what they do is to use it to silence reporters, silence journalists by taking them, hauling them before the courts, using frivolous means, but nonetheless means that certainly would somehow inhibit people, reporters and others, from taking on certain issues, reporting on certain things, because you're fearful of, one, the intimidation, and also you're fearful that if you're taken to court, the cost that is involved in getting legal representation would basically cause you to become a lot poorer than you already are. In getting an attorney, in taking the matter before the courts, and those court cases would drag on for several months and several years. Those people have the resources that you do not have, and therefore this can impoverish you. Strategic law against people participation. That is the motive. The broadcast will continue in just a moment as a politician says we should not allow religion and other forms of partisanship politics to divide the people in the communities the way it has happened. You're watching NewsSpin. You're also listening to the broadcast on Power 97.9 FM.
There is only one option when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Beaufort accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus takes charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
To protect appliances from lightning, rain, and flood water damage, unplug them, then turn off the main switch. Lightning can produce electrical surges, which can damage equipment. Protect your electronics from water damage as well. Make sure you have flashlights, battery-powered radios, and extra fresh batteries available. Be smart, stay safe.
First National Bank has the best deals on used vehicle loans. On Saturday, 30th September, visit us at the Derek Walcott Square from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Take advantage of our low interest rates, fast approval, and comfortable payment terms. Get free consultations with registered used car dealers, as well as our knowledgeable lending professionals. Special terms and conditions apply. Make it your Saturday line with First National Bank. Here for you.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay. Flow is keeping you connected.
KFC is taking you on a finger-licking journey down memory lane with our delicious throwback special. A mouth-watering leg and thigh combo with regular fries and a 16-ounce soda for only $15. That remind me of the good old days, boy. Available every Thursday. But wait, the thrill doesn't stop there. Tune in on Thursdays to win vouchers and stages tickets. Limited offers available in stores only. KFC, finger-licking good.
The new home of the best country music is Power 97.9 FM.
Say the stars are bound to fade.
Switch us on Join Me, DJ Jerry, this and every Thursday from 8 p.m. till midnight for Country Gold, the best in country music.
Your bags are packed and waiting.
The new, the oldies, and the goldies. So let's make it a date this and every Thursday with me, DJ Jerry, from 8 p.m. till midnight for Country Gold. If it's Thursday, it's Country Gold Thursday. Country Gold, only on Power 97.9 FM.
I lead a rich, rewarding life.
Automotive art is a place to start. Automotive art is a place to start.
Yeah, look, check. We got a wide range of products that are automotive and do-it-yourself supplies if you got a moment. Smart staff that'll always know it. Got rims and tires from trucks to high performance to off-roading. Start hair tools, batteries, oil, and car care.
After a 3-year hiatus due to restrictions of COVID-19, the Sufra Fitness Center presents Fun Strikes 2023, our annual fan, health and fitness walk for the entire family. On Monday, October 2nd, starting at 5 a.m., we walk from the Sufra waterfront to Myers Bridge through Force Jack and back down to the Sufra Beach Park. Of course, the music motivation truck will keep you going and going. A $35 registration gives you a quality Drift Fit t-shirt, drinks, fruits, fresh coconuts, breakfast, and a chance to win big. What are you waiting for? Register, stat, and finish to win over $10,000 worth of cash and raffle prizes. Register at the Sufra Fitness Center and other pop-up locations. Bring the entire family. Fun Strides 2023.
Are you working that 9-to-5 job but also juggling a side hustle? Well, Elks Credit Union has great news for you. Introducing Elks Credit Union Side Hustle Boost Loan. Need funds to take your side hustle to the next level? With our Side Hustle Boost Loan, you can access up to $50,000, giving your side hustle the boost it needs. And here's the best part. You'll have up to 5 years to pay it back with flexible repayment options that suits your budget. Whether it's expanding your inventory, upgrading your equipment, or marketing your services, Elks Credit Union is here to support your entrepreneurial dreams. Don't let your side hustle remain just a dream. Let Elks Credit Union empower you to turn it into a thriving reality. Boost your side hustle today with Elks Credit Union's Side Hustle Boost Loan. Contact us now or visit our website for more information. Elks Credit Union, your partner in success. Terms and conditions apply.
Speaking about how politicians have played a significant role over the last few years in dividing the people and the mixed messages that are being sent out there to their supporters. Well, we continue to be surprised ever so often when these same politicians preach unity and also they make reference to tolerance. But that is not the kind of practice, that's not the kind of action that they promote while they are on the hustings and also while they are in Parliament. And so on Monday of this week, the Equity Minister, Mr. Joachim Henry, speaking with reporters, said the following.
One of the things that I'm trying to encourage in Castries South is the issue of uniting our communities and uniting people. We need to be together. We should not allow religion and other forms of partisanship, politics, to divide the communities and people in the communities the way it has happened. It has affected families. So I would be, through the work of under this constituency development program, I would be advocating for a lot of values program to children. And I'm hoping that it will catch up and get mainstream, where we need to focus on impacting values to our younger generation. Respect, tolerance.
Now, over the last several years, I don't think that religion has played a role in dividing the people. I don't think people are too preoccupied with whether you're following the Seventh-day Adventist Church or you are Jehovah's Witness or Jehovah Witness, Pentecostal, etc. People are not so preoccupied with this. Not even if you're an atheist, that people look down at you. But I think what has happened is that we have been riven by politics in particular over the last few years. Maybe when Mr. Alan Chasney became the political leader of the United Workers' Party for one reason or the other. And I don't see us turning back from this in a hurry. It will take certainly a whole lot of self-reflection and for us to engage in introspection, to realize that definitely we are at a particular juncture, an enviable position, one certainly that should bring a lot of shame to us. The kind of things that people write on Facebook, the kind of discourse that takes place there, all in the name of politics. And those people do not exhibit the same energy and the same fervor, the same desire when it comes to focusing on things that have importance to the country and the people of the country in particular. Take, for example, what I've been harping about over the last few weeks and months, the high cost of living in the country. It is not taking its toll on you primarily because you're a supporter of the UWP or you're a supporter of the St. Lucia Labour Party, or if you care about politics or not. It is affecting all of us in this country. But instead of focusing on this and finding a way out of this dilemma that we have been in over the last few months in particular in St. Lucia, we are focusing on who is UWP and who is SLP and who is best to run this country based on our achievements over the last few years. Which government you think really has stood out in terms of the quality of governance that is required for our country? And we need to get the evidence of this, in terms of economic growth, in terms of what we have done for the young people of this country, in terms of what we have done for the elderly and the marginalized people in our country. It has been basically more of the same. And now what is en vogue, what is in style, is that politicians dividing the people on one hand and a little later telling you that there's need for unity in the country. Some people are dividing the country. I mean, this is certainly making a mockery of the modicum of intelligence that some people have in St. Lucia. The politicians are primarily responsible for the hate that is being spread in St. Lucia right now, followed by the hacks, the key supporters of those respective political parties in St. Lucia. It's a case of what the politicians stand to lose if the people get wiser. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, Kimani and the chat room.
Someone says he went into the church to fight. What does he have to say about this? Another comment, you cannot speak from both corners of your mouth. Someone in the chat room says kleptocracy should be the word of the day. I think now is the NewsSpin word of the day one time.
Yes, a few months ago.
In other words, if you continuously say falsehoods, you are a liar. Someone says maladministration is an administration law issue, not corruption. Another comment, the PM does not have to make public what his intentions are in regards to the Panama saga. Investigations must first take place. Tim, Rick used the exact same words as Mr. B. He's just a bit more polished. Someone says, Rick, a start of third political party in St. Lucia. Another comment, stories like these are things the newer voter needs to know. Earl Huntley needs to answer and be held responsible. Someone says, yes, it's a food crisis, which is not going to be resolved anytime soon. Have we ever assessed the impact of climate change on our agriculture? At this point, it is extremely difficult for a farmer to forecast or predict his harvest. Someone says, our fruits and vegetables are seasonal. Then we had the tropical storm, which was not helping the situation. Someone asked, what press? We must stop tarnishing the word press by using it to refer to the lot of men and women who run around St. Lucia like either puppets of the current administration or too scared to be the gatekeepers of democracy like they used to be. Find another word to describe them, my friend, not press. Someone says the people we refer to as members of civil society who were speaking up in the past with their utterings, pronouncements, poems, and pontifications have proven to be one or several of the following: raging hypocrites, yellow bellies, criminal accomplices, self-serving people because they have all gone silent. Tim, I wonder if St. Lucians know that we have nowhere to run to if with this government, where can we go? No new projects without plans will work or be trusted with upcoming elections. The church is more involved in politics when last you see them having a crusade. Someone says Lucians are to blame for the behavior of this government. Another comment in the chat room, the politicians are a reflection of the people. But that is it, Tim.
Thank you so much. Your calls once again, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. WhatsApp message, the Minister of Agriculture. Remember, he was in charge of the Forestry Division before getting into Parliament. In keeping with his expertise, most banana farms in St. Lucia have now turned into forests. Another WhatsApp message. Somebody says that, Tim, I was at the town hall meeting in New York on Sunday, and I must say the answers the Prime Minister gave to the people were not convincing enough. I actually saw a Secret Service member open his eyes when he heard about free health care at 80 years old in St. Lucia. And yes, I'm a supporter of the St. Lucia Labour Party. All right, let's see if we get a call on the air. I was hoping this will be a useful contribution. Good afternoon to you, sir. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon, Tim. How are you?
Good afternoon to you, caller.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay. How about you?
Yes, good afternoon. Not bad at all.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, Tim. I want to engage you in that discussion this afternoon. So I want to make a few points. First of all, I'm asking, if you take your car to a garage and you get your bill, is it supposed to have VAT in it, right? It can have VAT, right?
Yeah, for certain services.
Tim, for certain services, like you go to a guy that is in a country that is well organized, then you find you can implement things that will work, even though you know some people might rob you. But in general, the economy can flourish and survive under it. So I'm asking, what percentage of our VAT income that we collect? I always know it's a poison all over the country, that some people escape VAT or don't give the government the money they collect for government everywhere. It's usually around 60% that the government actually collect. So I'm saying, well, that is an issue too. When we look at who's selling the shoes and things, you know the amount of shoes people buy every year? Some of them are made of paper. You know, and it's not St. Lucians making that money. We have this supermarket monopoly, and that doesn't help either. And we have the banana crash. And plus we have government officials who don't seem to see what's going on the ground. As a matter of fact, they even on the side of St. Lucia is hot and things are too hot and things are impossible. Whereas as soon as you live where people interact or people do whatever they do, there is no starvation under the bush there. There is no heat as such. We create that. These are situations that people create. And in St. Lucia, I think we have that scheme there where somebody needs to clear the air once and for all, because that journalism thing I see going there, which week was alluded into. It's something that the citizens need to understand. Somebody needs to explain what is really going on to the people, because sometimes you really find, well, while the two sides are battling, the third side is they're suffering. Like the two sides of the coin, they seem to be forgetting the edge. So I'm saying, well, for a fact, I personally, I got some news yesterday. I got it on Facebook. Somebody said, well, they heard my voice on your show. And when I listened, I realized, well, yeah, you said, well, McDonald, you give him 15%. But every time I try to do this,
Caller, I've never made any reference to you for a very long time, sir. Okay? There's no need for me to do that.
No, not. I know you wouldn't. It's not supposed to happen in a democracy, because that'll change the whole thing. But you did make it. I listened to the show when you said, I give you 15%. I tell you, Tim, I'm a very qualified person.
I never said that. I never said that. Caller, I never made that statement.
Don't start coming like Trump, because I have it on tape.
Caller,
on 10th August, whatever. Because
you say in August.
Listen. No.
And what I said about you?
You give me 15%. No. I'm happy you said that, Tim.
No, that's not true.
You might be misinformed. You are misinformed
that's
about me.
That's not true, caller. I never. No. That's not true.
You see that one there?
Caller.
Because I didn't even realize. Because I didn't hear that before.
Wasting my time. I took your call. I hesitated before I took your call, sir. I hesitated, and you're proving me right again. You're not worth me engaging you and taking your calls on this program. Believe you me, you are a nuisance. This is NewsSpin. Let's see if we can get a meaningful contribution on the program before we conclude. All right, somebody says there, Tim, please check on Musa for the people of Yefor North. He is always off Island. The man is Minister of Health, Let's see if we have another contribution. The difference between the two political parties, SLP gives you a loaf a day. United Workers' Party gives you the key to freedom to own the bakery. Let's see if we have any more. I don't think we have any more of your contributions. So the final feature is our NewsSpin News of the Day. In Spain, dozens of girls are reporting AI-generated nude photos of them being circulated at school. In Spain, dozens of girls are reporting AI-generated nude photos of them being circulated at school. That's a broadcast. Thank you so much for watching on our NewsSpin Facebook page as well as on YouTube and listening on Power 97.9 FM. Join me this evening, 7 o'clock on DBS Television for the DBS News World and 8:30 for Newsmaker Live. Incidentally, my guest will be Father Albert. That's on Newsmaker Live this evening at 8:30. Goodbye.